Okay, we're on to chapter 6. We've got Merlin. Later that day, when the farmer had come back from the market, his wife from shopping, their children from school and playgroup, the telephone rang. Abigail, who was nearest, picked up the receiver and gave their number. Then she called, "Mum? Who is it?" "Didn't say." Her mother came to the phone. "Hello," she said. "My husband? He's milking. Can I take a message?" Later still, when the farmer came in for his tea, she said, "The Echo rang." The Echo was their local newspaper. "What about?" "They want to send a reporter out to interview you. They've heard there's a talking hen on the farm." "Who told them? Have you children been telling people?" "Of course not," said Abigail. "I haven't told a soul. I promise." "And I promise too," said Prudence. "And me," said Bob. "No, it was a salesman," their mother said. "One of the vets that sells foodstuffs. Apparently he came out here today when there was no one about, and I suppose Polly must have spoken to him. So he went straight to the Echo and told them, and they want to know if there's any truth in it." "What did you say?" asked her husband. "I said he must have been drunk." "And what did they say?" "They said no, he admitted to having quite a couple of stiff drinks to get over the shock, but he swore blind that he'd been spoken to by a hen." "And what did she say?" asked Abigail. "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers." "Well, that's blown it," said Abigail's father. "I suppose it had to happen, sooner or later. That bird's such a chatterbox." He could not help but keep a note of satisfaction from his voice. "I can't wait to see that reporter's face," he said, "when Polly starts chatting to him. You'll be famous, Abby, you will. You'll have your picture in all the papers. They'll want you to go on telly, I expect, on the Jerry Hogan show. I wouldn't be surprised." "I don't want to be famous," Abigail said. "I wanted it to stay a secret. But just think about how much she'll be worth once people realise what an amazing bird she is. Thousands of pounds." 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 7, 10,000 pounds, said Bob. "But I don't want us to sell Polly," said Abigail in a very quiet, unhappy voice. Just then the telephone rang and the farmer got up to answer it. "If that's the Echo, put them off till the morning, Bill," his wife said. "Say it's not convenient now. We need time to discuss this." "If you say so, Mary," the farmer replied. He picked up the receiver. Yes, Bill Brown speaking. "No, not now, I'm busy. Tomorrow, all right? Okay, see you both then." "Both?" said his wife. "The reporter chap's bringing the rep with him to identify the bird. You talk about discussing this, but the cat's out of the bag, you know. All we can do is wait and see what happens." "Oh, Polly, what will happen?" said Abigail as she said goodnight to her pet, who was perched on a hayrack in the stable. Polly looked down at her consideringly. "How do you do?" she said. And when Abigail did not answer, "Moo, good morning. Why, nice to meet you." Abigail reached up to stroke her. "I taught you to speak," she said, "and now I can't stop you. If only there was some way I could tell you to keep silent when these people come tomorrow." "Eat a Weetabix," said Polly. "Bah, oink, mind how you go." Abigail gave the bird a last pat and went out of the stable. She had quite forgotten having said that she would do something about those open doors. When she was ready for bed, she stood at her window and looked out across the moonlit yard at the stable, worrying about the day ahead. How could she prevent Polly from talking? She couldn't. Wait, yes she could. She could shut her away somewhere and produce another hen instead. But supposing the salesman had remembered her colouring, which he would have done because she was different from all the other hens in the flock. Except her mother. That was it. She would hide Polly and bring out her mother instead, and the silly old thing would just go cluck, cluck, cluck. Abigail got into bed and went happily to sleep. The fox came at first light. Abigail was suddenly woken up by a terrible din coming from the stable, a medley of frantic cackling and squawking and screeching, and above it all, the sound of a well-known voice calling desperately, "Abby, Abby, Abby!" Then there was silence. Abigail was first to arrive at the scene, but the others, except for Bob, who slept through all of the racket, were not far behind. And what a scene it was! 5 of the old speckled hen's brood lay dead in a sea of feathers on the cobbled floor. The 3 brown pullets and 2 of the white cockerels. Of the 3rd white cockerel and of pretty Polly there was no sign. "What is it? What's happened?" cried Prudence, clinging to her mother. "Fox," said her father. "He's got them all," said Abigail in a small, flat voice. "You silly girl," her father thought. "Fancy letting them roost in here. You've only got yourself to blame." The look on her face told him that was just what she was thinking, so he said nothing of it, but went on. "A fox is like that, you see. So long as anything flutters, he'll keep getting them. He's programmed to act like that. He'll have jumped at them till he panicked them down off their perches. But he might not have gotten them all, Abby. Look at those feathers. Abigail looked and saw all the feathers scattered around the stable floor, and they were either brown or white. Not a single black and silver barred feather could be seen. He couldn't carry more than one bird at a time, the farmer said, and we were on the scene too quickly for him to come back for a second helping. My guess is that he's taken the third white cockerel, and that somehow Polly's escaped. Maybe she's still in here, perhaps in the hayloft above. But search as they might, they found no sign of her in any of the farm buildings. At last, everyone gave up except Abigail. Doggedly, she hunted on, in the home paddock, in the orchard, in the little spinney beyond where one or two white feathers showed which way the fox had gone. She even went right down the farm drive, and it was there, at its junction with the main road, that she met the reporter from the Echo turning in. Beside him sat the salesman. "Hello," said the reporter cheerily. "Here you've got a talking hen on your farm." "A talking hen?" said Abigail. "No, of course we haven't." And that's the truth, she thought miserably. We haven't, not anymore. "Come on now, young lady," said the salesman. "It was me the bird spoke to. Came out with that old tongue twister about Peter Piper. Clear as a bell. Dark feathered she was, different from all the others." At this, Abigail remembered her plan, to show them Polly's mother. "We have got one dark bird," she said, kind of speckly. Perhaps that's the one that's supposed to have spoken to you." "Show us," they said. In the yard, Abigail lifted the pop hole of the hen house and out ran the flock to flap and stretch and scratch about. "That's her," said the salesman, pointing to the old speckled hen. "That's the one." And to the reporter he said, "Got your tape ready? Right, now, just you listen." Solemnly, they walked around the farmyard, listening, and the machine duly recorded the conversation. Salesman, "Talk to me then. Say something." Speckled hen, "Squawk." Salesman, "No, speak properly, like you did before. Say, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers." Speckled hen, "Chirp." Squawk. Reporter, "I don't call that talking." Salesman, angrily, "I tell you, she spoke just like a human being." Speckled hen, "Cluck, cluck, cluck." Reporter, skeptically, "That's your story." Abigail, quietly, "Fancy imagining that a hen could talk." Speckled hen, "Cackle, cackle, cackle." It was at this precise moment that a movement high in the Dutch barn caught Abigail's eye. Something was squatting between two straw bales, something with black and silver barred plumage and a bright red comb and wattles. After the mad panic that had sent her scrabbling up to the highest place of safety she could find, Polly was preparing to come down to join the rest of her flock. The sharp-eyed reporter saw her too. "Look up there," he said. "There's another dark bird." "And that'll be the one, you'll see," said the salesman. The game's up, thought Abigail, but she did not really care, so happy was she to find her beloved pet safe and sound. "Polly, Polly," she called, and the only survivor of the speckled hen's brood came fluttering down. Abigail knelt to stroke her. Not a feather was out of place. Polly had, it seemed, suffered no damage. "Speak to me, Polly, speak to me," cried Abigail in her joy and relief, and the salesman nudged the reporter and grinned in triumph. But no sound of any came from pretty Polly's beak. Terror had struck her dumb.